But he's 36. Like, there's going to be a time when Hikaru's sitting in his pineapple shirt and he's not playing chess anymore, and he's just going to have to watch me win tournament after tournament. He's going to be too old to even compete. Like, my reign is going to last so long that he's going to be at the age of, like, just like, he can't even walk anymore, and I'm still going to be winning.
Niemann trash talking hard going into this third place battle at the 2024 Speed Chess Championship. So what did old man Hikaru do? Well, this response. This game says it all, and so does the match result. Let's dive on in. Niemann kicks off with his favourite king pawn. This is a bullet game here, 1 minute each, but also a second added per move. That's called excrement, and now a whoosh is announced as the bishop develops on the board, and Hikaru plays the rock solid Berlin defence, a favourite of Niemann's life coach, mentor, good friend, Vladimir Kramnik. Now we see pawn d3, and it's one of the richest ways to handle the position. All the pieces stay on the board, no queen exchange, which can occur. This bishop now gets aggressive, and white often pushes the pawn or changes the structure here, but Niemann goes for this side quest with bishop g5. Now after castles, we do get back into some more usual territories with this pawn push, but besides anyway, Hikaru wants to break the pin, drops back, the knight develops, pawn d6 played, and after castles we get this quirky move. It's knight g4. Now it looks a bit strange because you're going to get kicked back soon, but it offers the exchange of the bishops. Accepted. That wasn't the best piece for black, blocked by the pawns. This one's a little better. Now we get rook e1, and with Niemann having an advance in the centre already, or a bit more space, and the initiative, we wonder if Hikaru despairs at this point, starts setting up the pieces for the next game, because after h3, knight dropping back, d4, it's Niemann who's in control of this central space. Hikaru tries to fight back. Don't blunder your bishop. Spotted. Looks very dead on this square, but it supports e4. One day it may come to life, and this is looking pretty normal. But Hikaru goes for a side way of playing with pawn b6. Prepares to fianchetto. First hands goes for this pony maneuver. This is why he practices in the meadows of the USA. Moments like this, the bishop hits this long diagonal, knight g3, and because it's about to bounce, we see Hikaru covering that square. Queen d2 logical on these dark squares. Connect the rooks. Now the knight develops here. Hikaru's got his bits out, but before he can make too much progress, Niemann takes some space and stops the knight from hopping once and for all. He's in the driver's seat here. Now pawn a3, king g7's tidy, rook a d1, and we're begging for that rook tangle to be completed. But first pawn h6 to take control of g5 and the often overlooked i5. Now knight h4, and it sets up a tactical shot. Can you spot what white wants here if you don't respond correctly? Yes, the move would be one of these knights into f5 should you not spot the issue. And you go to Forktown, population Hikaru, it's game over. So you could go here. Hikaru goes for this one instead, and Niemann now roars like the mighty chess lion he is as he pushes forward another pawn. What can Hikaru do to fight back? Of course, set up the rook tangle here. Whole board starts shaking, and we just get a glimpse for a moment into a parallel universe where Hans and Hikaru are the best of friends. No lawsuit went down, no bad words said about each other. They go for walks, they have ice cream together, they even enjoy a spot of physical exercise with one another. Lovely to see. Now we see takes on e5, pawn recaptures, and of course d5 here. Really squash these pieces. I mean, they're all terrible, these black pieces. How do you fight back? Well, this is a great try. It's the advance of the c pawn. going for the undermine of this structure. So this explosive c4 supports. Again, how do you undermine? Well, with this one, this time. That word, by the way, undermine, coming from the olden days apparently, when they'd literally try and mine under the wall, collapse that thing. That's what Hikaru is looking to do here with this big center. So we get this pawn advancing, a brilliant move. When you see it, it makes sense, or does it? What happens if you take here? Well, it's a trap. Can you see the problem? Again, it's this same theme. You lose the queen. No good. So the pawn untouchable. So takes was played here. Bishop recaptured. Now recaptures rather. So now this is defended twice. We see this advance of the pawn. Another great move to open the bishop. Hikaru fighting hard, and it forces a blunder here. Retreating the bishop, going steady on the position is best. But Niemann plays this knight into the f5 square. Very aggressive attacking move, but not good. Now, to be fair to him, he was distracted just at this moment by the two arbiters. There they are. They were just strolling past the board. A small smile just curled in the corner of their lips, simply because they love chess. They're big fans, but it can be distracting to the players. Niemann discombobulated, sacks a knight, thinks it's winning. King sidesteps, but he can't actually crash through without giving up a second piece to distract this pesky queen. This is how the game proceeded. He does land the all-powerful check. The king does step back. He does whisper rook lift. He's in great shape, but here's the big problem. Although it looks terminal, that check would be fatal if white had one more move. There's actually a great defensive resource that not only saves the day with more than a draw, but leaves black winning. Can you find it? The move here is queen h7 simply, and it's so powerful because you create two flight squares for the king, also threaten to exchange. So now if you check, well, you don't go this way because rook g7 check, supported by the knight, you win the queen, not good. But you do step this way and black is actually winning. There aren't enough pieces in the attack. There are enough defenders in the defense. This could come soon, so you've got nothing to do but resign or play on a few moves. So no check was played. Instead, we saw the move of knight e7 check. You might be thinking, hang on, can't you take? And then look to take the queen, but there's takes here. If you win the queen, you lose here by giving a check and then letting the opponent make a queen. So you'd have to do this, and black is actually winning. So let's run back. We didn't see takes, technically playable if you then follow up with rook e8, but instead, stronger is king f7. Running for the hills, offering the exchange of queens still, and if you try and avoid it with something like this, will you force the issue? Sure, you can sack an exchange, but you still force the issue, and where's the queen going? It's got no squares. Let's say f5, but fine. Now we're exchanging, and we're crashing through. This is game over. Three minor pieces for a rook. It's no good. So we run back. We saw takes, knight recaptures, and there's two minor pieces ahead now for black. It's just hopeless. Rook c3 tried. Takes. The rook invades. Don't blunder your bishop. Hikaru saves it. Now pawn takes back. But after knight h to f6, we saw resignation because Hikaru's got two minor pieces for two pawns. Incredible defensive effort.
Chess speaks for itself.
He wins this game, and this is what he did in the entire match. A real pummeling, pure spankage mode. Hope you enjoyed this one, and if you want to see another remarkable game played in this very match between these two, then have a look at the video on screen. Thanks very much for watching, and see you soon. Cheers.